Aircraft flying over the sea may be subject to a common form of corrosive attack known as filiform corrosion. This also affects components and structures used on land and platforms at sea. In the building industry, filiform corrosion is mainly a cosmetic problem. However, in aircraft structures, filiform corrosion around the heads of rivets and bolts may develop into more serious corrosion. This could ultimately lead to the development of cracks, component failure, and perhaps loss of an aircraft. This video will give a short description of filiform corrosion and the mechanism through which it develops and propagates. Filiform corrosion is a localized thread-like type of corrosion which occurs on painted aluminium, magnesium, and steel structures. This specific kind of corrosion occurs under the following conditions: in an atmosphere with a high relative humidity, with paint that must be permeable to oxygen as well as water, in the presence of salt at the coating substrate interface, and with the presence of defects in the paint coating. These conditions are typically present for aluminium windows near the beach, aircraft flying in maritime environments, ships and offshore structures like oil rigs and bridges. In all examples, coating defects occur along edges or holes in components and structures. There are several factors that influence the formation and growth of filiform corrosion. These are the environment, the type of paint, the pre-treatment of the surface prior to coating, and the microstructure of the metal, that is, alloy composition and morphology. This animation gives a schematic display of the process of filiform corrosion. Starting with a scratch representing a defect in a coated aluminium sample under the influence of water, oxygen, and salts, the corrosion process begins as a result of the creation of local cathodic and anodic sites due to the formation of a differential aeration cell. As the corrosion process continues and the filament grows under the coating, the corrosion products lift the coating. In the case of aluminium, the filiform corrosion mechanism is anodic undermining. With this mechanism, oxygen is mainly supplied through the tail of the filament and aluminium is dissolved at the tip of the filament. The susceptibility to filiform corrosion is tested in accordance with the specification DIN 65472, Filiform Corrosion Test of Coated Aluminium Alloys. This is an example of a typical test sample and filaments of filiform corrosion that can develop. This real-time video shows the evolution of gas bubbles, believed to be hydrogen gas, at the head of the filament. This time-lapse video shows us the development of different filiforms. Every second of this video represents 75 minutes of real time. The hydrogen gas evolution is again very clear in the head of the filament. Furthermore, one can observe that the corrosion product in the tail of the filament slowly changes color. This is because the gel-like aluminium oxides and hydroxides will undergo compositional and morphology changes further down the tail. The authors want to thank the Dutch Ministry of Economic Affairs, innovation-oriented research program on surface technology for their financial support, and Mr. J. Nichols and Mr. N. Goldsmith from DSTO Australia for their technical contributions.